Now, this was a cunning, very slick takedown by Advocate Baloyi of the prosecution through re-examination after all the advocates had done their cross-examinations. Listen to this.
In cross-examination by counsel for accused number 4, you mentioned that Ms. Zandi Tumelo did show you the superficial injury on the ankle. So above the ankle, on the front part of the ankle.
Ukuthi laphana kuyicakala phambili enyaweni othi uZandi Tumelo wakubonisa lelo ngabanyana ke elincane ngenkathi ubaba uNcumalo laphana ekubuza imibuzo.
Yes, I was born because lalingaphezulu nje kweqala umlenzeni waka right futhi kungenalo iphutha.
It was indeed so. It was just on top of the foot in the region of the right ankle. She showed me that.
So when was that?
Kwaba kunini makakubonisa lokho?
I think sasakhona la Fosloras.
We're still in Fosloras. We're still in Fosloras.
More or less when in relation to the day of the incident?
Kusho ukuthi nini masukhathisa ke nosuku lwesigameko?
Angisakhumbuli kahle mntana ngoba noma ngasikhathi sibuye esibhedlela. I think ngakathi sibuya or before sesibuya mos. I think ngakathi sibuye esibhedlela ifungenali iphutha. But yena wasikhombisa shame.
I cannot recall clearly, and if I'm not mistaken, that was done when we upon arrival from the hospital. It could have been before, but I think it was after we were at the hospital, and she indeed showed us that wound.
Now, counsel for accused number 4, Advocate Tumelo, questioned you on the contents of the report by Warrant Officer Steenkamp.
Ubaba Ncumalo okuyena okhulumela u-accused number 4 wakubuza ke nge kwakuqukethwe ile report eyenziwe Warrant Officer Steenkamp
regarding the compilation of the identity kits.
Mayelana ke nokuzama ke ukwakha i-identity kit.
Yes.
That's correct, yes.
You did mention that you don't remember the date when the identity kits were compiled.
Uthi wena ke awusakhumbula i-date ukuthi le identity kit ke yenziwa nini? Yes.
Do you perhaps remember when in relation to your first statements were the identity kits compiled?
Mase sokuxoxanisa ke nestatement sakho sokuqala ungakhumbula ukuthi yona yenziwa nini? Futhi ke usebenzisa istatement sakho sokuqala ukuzama ukukhumbula ukuthi mhlambe yenziwa nini?
Noma ngenayo sure but sayenzele eFosloras police station.
Even though I'm not sure about it, it was done at the Fosloras police station.
But do you remember whether it was on the same day that you made a statement or days thereafter?
Yakhumbula ukuthi mhlambe yenziwa ngalolo suku owenza istatement okanye kwandlula amalanga.
Hayi angidlulanga amalanga. I think manganali iphutha kuloko. I think ingale date yama statements. If I'm not mistaken.
If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't after many days. I think it may have happened on the same day of my finishing of the statement.
And you testify that at that point you have already given the description of the intruders and indicated that you'll be able to identify one of them.
Ngaleso sikhathi ubususophane ngaleyo nto leyo ukuthi uyakwazi ukuphana ngesithombe salabantu kanye umfanekiso walabantu abangena endlini ungakhona nokuthi bakhona.
Yes, I lokho ngihlezi ngikusho.
Yes, that I always say.
Now, you mentioned that in cross-examination by both counsel for accused number 4 and 5, that as far as the description of the firearm is concerned, you did mention that it had a wheel.
So ushilo ngenkathi ubuza imibuzo ummeli waka accused 4 no 5 ukuthi mawuphana-ke ngencazelo okanye-ke umfanekiso leso sibhamu uthe wena-ke kwakuyisibhamu esinesonto nje.
Ya ngathi isibhamu ngathi sinesonto because ngangisibuka ngaphambili la impopo asibona ngaphambili empopweni.
Yes, that looked like a firearm that had a wheel, because my view was at the front portion of that firearm. When I looked at it, I saw the front portion of the firearm, and it looked like it had a wheel.
Yes.
So if you say it looked as if it had a wheel, what are you referring to?
Uma uthi ke ibibuka ngazuthi inesibhamu ukhuluma ngani? Sorry, inesonto ukhuluma ngani?
Indlela sasingaside kakhulu kwakuyisibhamanyana nje singakanyana.
It wasn't a very long firearm. It was that short or that long.
Singakanyana nje.
Can you just explain to the court, if you say wheel, what are you referring
Uma
to? Which part of the
ukhuluma
firearm are you
ngesonto
referring to?
ukhuluma ngengxenye yiphi yesibhamu uma ukhuluma ngalelo sonto?
Angithi mengeni besiphethe ngesandla saka right.
Isn't it so that when he came in, he was holding it with the right hand, wielded like that as the witness is
So
demonstrating?
la ngihleli khona mina ngabona ngathi isibhamu esinesonto lesi.
From where I was seated, I saw it as a firearm that looked like we had a wheel on it.
Yeah, where on it?
Kuphi ke ingxenye yiphi
Ngala
yesibhamu?
ibambe ngakhona kule minwe le. Ngala ibambe ngakhona wayisibambe kanje.
Just on the handle, particularly on the 3 fingers that are that will be holding the handle like that, just right there.
You mean on the trigger? Around the trigger?
Uthi eduze ne-trigger yakubona lokho okungathi kunje kwesibhamu, lokho okungathi iphininyana nje trigger.
Ya ngalapha impela ngangibona ngala isingena khona mina ngangibona ngathi usibambe ngathi isibhamu esinesonto somewhere la.
Somewhere there in that area of the trigger as well, the trigger guard as well. It looked as though there was some wheel right there.
The court, please, my lord. Exhibit V1 has been handed up. And the witness was questioned on the appearance of the firearm. The witness did say that he made a statement explaining how the firearm looked like. We request, my lord, that the state be allowed to introduce that statement after, of course, proving its content. The purpose is not to self-corroborate the witness, but to indicate that the witness had previously said the same thing.
Any objection from the defense?
Malala, I can't follow what my colleague is saying. He's talking about self-corroboration, statement and everything. I really don't know what it is referring to.
I'm also lost. I don't know what's talking from Mr. Raplesa.
I'm also lost, my lord. I don't know what Advocate Baloyi.
Tumelo.
I'm also lost. I can't follow.
Miss Shalala.
My lord, the exhibit, only exhibit that has been submitted before this court, it's exhibit V1.
Yeah, he's talking about it.
It's referring to exhibit V1.
Yes.
And it has been submitted to the court.
Yeah, but he's sending it up for a particular reason, not in self-corroboration of this witness in describing where the wheel is located on the firearm, but merely to show that this witness did describe the firearm as it shown on exhibit V1. Am I correct, sir?
No, my lord, it means V1 is already before court.
Well, I'm saying what he says.
Then he cannot submit another V1. V1 is already there. And he cannot submit any other statement other than exhibit V1.
Mr. Baloyi.
Let's try again. My lord, my colleagues have handed up exhibit V1
Yeah.
that tends to describe the firearm, and as mentioned of a .38 special, this witness has consistently said he never mentioned that, and that he made an additional statement wherein he explains that issue regarding the .38. Now, we are saying, my lord, that a skewed picture is being painted by just merely handing up that exhibit V1.
Okay.
The state wants to introduce another statement of this witness wherein he explained, as he's saying, and as I say, my lord, the purpose is not for self-corroboration, but to say, to indicate that the witness did in fact say, what is stated in the statement.
Yes, I understand.
That is the sole purpose.
So what's the objection?
The state wants to submit the second statement.
Where is the prejudice?
My lord,
Where is the prejudice?
this witness, the state was given the opportunity
Of what?
to present its case.
Right.
It was not part of the state case to say there was an additional statement wherein you gave clarity up until it arose during the cross-examination, my lord, if we were on the same page. Now the state is given the opportunity to do re-examination. The state, my lord, it is my submission, my lord, that the state cannot now produce another statement because of the issues arising from the cross-examination.
Where is the prejudice? I hear you.
The prejudice is that because it was not part of the examination in chief.
Because as I understood the defense, it was a fabrication. There were no two intruders.
Yeah.
Remember the defense.
Yes.
My client was not there, and I'm saying, where's the prejudice?
My lord, the prejudice is that it's not part of the evidence led by the state. It only arose during cross-examination. And the defense has already cross-examined the witness on the examination in chief. Now, if the state wants to add a new evidence, then it means we'll have to cross-examine again.
No. Mr. Rapples, what's your objection? Where's the prejudice? Nobody has told me about the prejudice.
My lord, at first when it was said, like I said, I was lost because there was no clarification from my learned colleague.
Okay.
Now that he's clarified it, and I've listened to the cross-examination by Mr. Tumelo and Advocate Moshololo, when he clarified that he has never told the statement maker that he spoke about the revolver and the .38 special. So I'll leave it there, my lord.
Where is the prejudice?
For me, my lord, my case is simple. I've always
You
said
know
that when we argue these matters, that we are arguing that we are not there. So
that's what I thought. Mr. Mnisi, where's the prejudice?
My lord, it's actually not about prejudice.
It's about what?
It's about the rules of evidence.
Yes.
Yes.
Evidence, you must show prejudice.
No, my lord, not necessarily there. Rules of evidence relating to self-corroboration.
He said it's not handing it.
Statement that
He says he's not handing it up as self-corroboration of the evidence, the viva voce evidence of this. He's handing it up to demonstrate that the description this witness has given coincides with the explanation in the statement you want to hand up. Is that so, Mr. Baloyi?
Indeed,
That is precisely, my lord, what the law relating to the rules of evidence.
Okay. Any prejudice? Mr. Muhammad? You haven't said anything.
No, I think we rather hear what he's saying.
Who?
The state.
He's already said it.
Yeah, continue with whatever he wants to do. Then
No, he's handed up the document.
Yes. You may.
Okay, the court allows that evidence to be handed up. That statement. What?
It will be exhibit.
Exhibit what?
V2, my lord.
V2. Exhibit V2.
I just want to show you a document which will be Exhibit V2, you recognize that document as your statement?
Khumbula le document nje nge-statement sakho.
Just show him the first page and then all the subsequent pages.
Yeah. Yeah, signature.
Let's show you the original. This is the original.
This is my signature that is appearing on these papers, on these pages.
Sorry, my lord, can the state be kind to us and tell
Yeah, you're
us?
going to get a copy.
It's exhibit, it's A110. And on the last page, there's also a signature there. Whose signature is it?
Yes, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I can see. That is my signature.
And the date? Just above
Yes, ngiyayibona.
the date, just put that on record.
2018 0207.
Yes, the 7th of February 2018
And the time?
is cutting.
11:30.
11:30.
And the take of the statement was Colonel Shibiri. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct. I know him.
Yes. And did he, what was the position? Did he take down the statement as you were narrating the incident to him, or what was the position?
Bekunjani ke uma uloku umtshela ukuthi kwenzakalani yena ubhala phansi.
Yeah, in fact, asikho statement engayibhala zona. Ngisho babhali.
In actual fact, there isn't any of the statements that I had reduced it into writing by myself. I would just finish them, relate to them what transpired, and then they would write it down.
And in which language did you communicate with him?
Ubokhuluma nabo ngaluphi ulimi?
Solo ngikhuluma isiZulu.
I've always been finishing them with the Zulu as I was finishing the statements.
And did you confirm the correctness thereof?
Waqinisekisa ke ukuthi lesi statement siqhubethe zona ke izinto ezikhulumile.
Yeah, kusho khona masana ngisayinele kusho khona. Bakuthi ngisayine yeah.
Yeah, it means I had confirmed the content of this document, given the fact that I had signed.
If you can read the contents of paragraph 4 and 5 in the record.
Ungasifundela yona ke paragraph 5. Uzokwazi ukufunda?
Abuya ngihlulela ama handwriting.
I battle with the handwriting.
Yes,
should I
if
read
you
it
can
out?
assist
Can
me.
you read it for him so that...
Okay. God please, yes, my lord. I don't have knowledge of firearms. I don't know.
Paragraph 4.
Oh, paragraph 4, sorry. On A10 statements, I indicated to the police officer who was taking my statement that the firearm which the suspect was carrying was a firearm with a wheel in the, I cannot see what's written, in the handle, in the middle, sorry, in the middle. I didn't say the firearm was a .38 special. I think the police officer, with his knowledge of firearms, made a conclusion that the firearm I was referring to in my explanation was a .38 special. Uyakuzwa lokho kushoyo?
Yeah.
Uthi ke kwi A10 statement ngiye ngakusho lokho ukuthi iphoyisa elalithatha istatement sami mayelana ke nesibhamu esasiphethwe ulona umsolo ilona ke ngasho kulo ukuthi leso sibhamu sasinesonto futhi ke la emaphakathini azange ngikusho lokho ukuthi leso sibhamu bekuyi 38 special. Ngiyacabangela nje ukuthi mhlawumbe leli phoyisa ngenxa yolwazi analo mayelana nezibhamu waseke uthatha isinqumo sokuthi leso sibhamu ebengikhuluma ngaso uma ngimchazela sona bekuyi 38 special.
And just,
this is what I was explaining to the advocate.
and just that first sentence of paragraph 5.
I don't have knowledge of firearms. Sike mina anginalo ulwazi lwezibhamu.
Thank you, my lord. This one.
Any cross-examination? Mr. Happiness? Mr. Mnisi?
I don't have cross-examination, but I still stand by my point that self-corroboration.
No, we're past that.
is disabled.
No, we're long past that.
Thank you, madam.
Any cross-examination?
No, that is exactly what you said to the question to my colleague. So I
No,
want any
that's not the question.
cross-examination.
Any cross-examination?
On this aspect, I don't have.
Thank you.
Secondly,
Mr. Normalo, any
Thank you, my lord. I
cross-examination?
don't have any cross-examination. Thank you.
Mr. Lolo, any cross-examination? How, madam? You remember that case of R versus Hepworth? Just read it again. Just read it again. Because this is about justice. It's not
we
about
understand it,
taking
but
points.
Yes, we understand her point. But
Yes.
I was
That's
on the
it.
rules of procedure on evidence.
Hey, read that case again. It's unlike this court is saying this statement is handed up and you're not going to cross-examine on it. Never said that. They just said, where's the prejudice? And you're free to cross-examine on that statement. Do you have that?
I think the relevant portion
Yeah.
is as follows. And he said the reference is R versus Hepworth 1928 AD 265 at 277, where the court held as follows. A criminal trial is not a game where one side is entitled to claim the benefit of any omission or mistake by the other side. And a judge's position in a criminal trial is not merely that of an umpire to see that the rules of the game are observed by both sides. A judge is an administrator of justice. He is not merely a figurehead. He has not only to direct and control the proceedings according to the recognized rules of procedure, but to see that justice is done.
That's all, you don't take a point to say, akayisho lento, hayi sizomthola. No, it's about justice. He can even reopen and recall a witness who has already testified. What more about a witness who's still on the witness stand? Okay, is that all, Mr. Baloyi?
Wow, so effectively the judge is schooling them here, and I think they dropped the ball because of their attitude, and perhaps the fact that they don't appear to be thinking of their feet, that now they feel that they have been done disfavor by the judge by allowing Advocate Baloyi, in their opinion, to reintroduce new evidence to corroborate the Tumelo Madlala's statement. And now because of that, they are unable to respond effectively to say, okay, we're going to cross-examine, or perhaps even ask to do the cross-examination tomorrow morning prior to the calling of the new witness to the stand. I think they dropped the ball here seriously. But nevertheless, I thought that Baloyi was extremely smart in bringing that up on the table, because now whatever they have done to try to discredit Tumelo, the last closing re-examination by Baloyi has placed back on the record Tumelo's credibility, whatever credibility he had. Okay, that's it, guys. I'm gonna check out on that. I didn't want to necessarily engage with the intricate details of what was happening there deliberately, because I wanted you to see what unfolded in the re-examination. I do have some videos where I necessarily engage with the examination, but I like the flow of the events. But I thought that Baloyi was quite slick in introducing that evidence right at the end. He caught them with their pens around their ankles, proverbially, of course. Okay, that's it. That was the court for today. See you in the next video. Do not forget to like, click subscribe, and share the video with as many as possible.